I'm Bob Duncan, the technical editor of Scroll Saw Woodworking Crafts magazine. As a technical editor, one of my responsibilities is to find new tools that relate to scroll saws and woodworking in general, check them out, and see if they're worth the money. For many scroll saws, the table saw is scary, and you really have good reason to be scared. Everybody's heard horror stories about people being seriously injured by kickback or getting a serious cut. That's a shame because the table saw really is the foundation of a good woodworking shop. With the table saw, you can make straight cuts, angled cuts, cuts with the grain, cuts against the grain. Luckily, the SawStop has gone out of the way to make this useful tool a lot less scary. Today I'm going to demonstrate the most distinct safety feature of the SawStop, the blade break. This unit instantly engages whenever the blade touches flesh. As an editor, my fingers are important to me, so instead of using my fingers, I'm going to substitute a hot dog. The thing about this saw that makes it great is that it literally, if it senses skin of any sort, it'll slam a break into the blade, drop the blade the whole way down to the table. So it basically keeps you from amputating any body parts. The way it does this is it sends a slight electric charge to the blade, and there's a computer down there that reads that charge. If that charge changes because it touches skin, because of the moisture in your skin, it'll change the electric charge. That's when it triggers the brake and slams it down. What happens if you're cutting wet wood, green wood or something like that? Well, there's a sensor on the front that once you've turned it on and it boots up, you can put the wood up against it. It'll tell you if the wood is too wet to use and if it'll trip a false positive and break and destroy your blade. There, the sensor is flashing saying that it's wet wood because I'm touching it with my finger. But if you're not touching it and you use a dry piece of wood, I'm just going to use this. Use a shop broom. A dry piece of wood touching it doesn't trip the sensor. Now here's the moment everybody's been waiting for. We're going to test this system to see how it works. I've got some other people from the Fox Chapel staff here with me just because I figured this would be pretty dramatic, so I want to have an audience. Now here's the saw. Here's the hot dog I'm going to use. Bring it along. Whoa!
Well,
And that was even more dramatic than I expected.
Man, that's scary.
Any damage?
I can't find any damage on the hot dog.
Oh my gosh.
So let's bring the blade up and see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after the brake engages. You can see that it did destroy the blade, but I don't know about you, but even the most expensive blade is still a lot cheaper than my finger. So you have to when you're done, you need to replace the blade and you'll need to replace the brake cartridge. The brake cartridge can only be used once. But I think it's a small price to pay for saving a finger. So that's the SawStop.